Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Noman Shahid and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. Today, I congratulate all of the students on finally being a part of this prestigious profession that our society refers to as doctors. Today marks the beginning of your efforts and contribution to mankind. As of me, I have completed my master's in general surgery and I will start here by teaching general anatomy, and I will try to upload new lectures consistently inshallah. And finally, I welcome all of you to be a part of this family and a part of this medical journey. So without further ado, let's begin our topic. So here we have Chapter 1, Introduction to Human Anatomy, which is the first lecture in the series of General Anatomy. So in regards to the contents of this topic, we'll be starting by defining anatomy. Then we'll go towards gross anatomy, including the subheadings such as level of organization of human body, the 4 types of tissues in the human body, and finally towards the organ systems of the human body, also referred to as systemic anatomy, the systemic anatomy, yes. And finally, we'll be moving to the last part, the terminology, the anatomical terminology, including the anatomic position, planes and sections, directional terms, body regions, such as regional anatomy. Then we have body cavities and membranes, and then finally we'll end this lecture by going through abdominal quadrants and abdominal regions. So let us go further. So we'll start by defining. So we begin by defining anatomy. What is anatomy? Anatomy is the study of structure. And here we refer to as human anatomy. So the study of the structure of human anatomy, how it is made, how the human body is made. Let us refer to an example of a building. As a building has different floors and each floor has different rooms, same as that, our body is composed of many organ systems, which we study under systemic anatomy. And then each organ system is made up of many organs, joined together, working together. And organs are made up of different tissues. So when we study the structure of these at cellular level, at tissue level, organ level, or organ system level, it comes under anatomy and different branches of anatomy. For example, when we look at the systems, it comes under systemic anatomy. Whereas when we look these structures under a microscope, it may come under histology. So these are all the branches of anatomy where we study the structure, especially of the human body. Whereas the word anatomy is derived from Greek language, and means to cut up or to cut open. So when we cut open or to cut up a human body, in other words, we say when we dissect the human body, we can see different tissues such as muscular tissue, bone, skin. We can look at the organs. So this all comes under studying the structure, how they are organized, how they are made, and this is under anatomy. And anatomists examine the relationships among parts of the body, how they work together, how they are organized, how they are interrelated, along with the structure of individual organs, that how the individual organs are made up of. For example, tongue is an organ, how it moves, how many muscles that helps to move the tongue. So this all comes under the anatomy. In other words, we can say anatomy is a map, is like a map of human body. So if you want to know how this structure is made up of, then you know it's like a map, then you know the structure. So studying anatomy is like studying a map where we know the organ, where it is located and how does it look like. But it does not end here. After knowing how the structure looks like and where it is located, like after knowing anatomy, we need to know what does it do, what is the function of that part or organ of the body. And the function comes under physiology. So physiology is the study of the function of body structures or body organs or tissues. Yes? So the scientific discipline that studies the function of the body structure comes under physiology. And it does not end here. The normal function of the body structures will be covered under physiology. And when these functions become abnormal, then they come or studied under pathology. And that's how, and then when we know the abnormal function which is covering under pathology, then we need to cure it, we need to correct it. And we correct by giving some medicine. That comes under pharmacology, and then these joined together, the pathology, the pharmacology are joined under the discipline of medicine. And when the medicine is not enough to treat the particular disease, then we take the help of surgery. So starting from the beginning, you need to make a correlation of your studies so that in the future you can have a better understanding how everything works under medicine. So, if you want to know the function, the physiology of some organ, first you must know how it looks like. If you don't know what it looks like, then you can not have a better imagination of how it can function. So that's why we say the structure and function cannot be completely separated. If you want to know the function, you must know the structure. If you know the structure, the next question which comes to the mind is, okay, what does this do? So that's why the structure and function cannot be completely separated. They are best studied together. Here, the statement, the form, which means the structure is related to the function. So this would be correct, that the structure is basically related to the function. After knowing the anatomy of some organ, we would like to know how it functions normally, and that comes under physiology. So anatomy and physiology are usually studied together. So let us proceed. Here we look at the associations of anatomy. So we, for this lecture series, have divided anatomy under 3 parts, including gross anatomy, histology and embryology, and neuroanatomy. So gross means looking with your naked eye. When we look at the structure, when we look at the anatomy with our naked eye without any help or aid, then it comes under gross anatomy. And in gross anatomy, we have divided into general anatomy and regional anatomy. Under general anatomy, we study systemic anatomy and surface. By systemic anatomy, we mean that to study the systems or the organ systems of the body. We have 11 organ systems in human body, starting from integumentary system or the skin system. Yes? And then we have a respiratory system. Then we have gastrointestinal system. And then we have reproductive system. All these systems, like cardiovascular, like nervous system, all these systems comes under systemic anatomy. And then if we look at the human body from outside, from the surface, from the skin point of view, from the outside, then it comes under surface anatomy. As you can see, there are some landmarks, some bony prominence are seen from the skin, from the outside. You can see the hair. So these all come under surface anatomy. And finally, we have regional anatomy. According to regional anatomy, we have divided the body into regions, including the head and neck, and then we have thorax. And then we have abdomen, and then we have pelvis perineum, and then we have upper limb, and we have lower limb. So this comes under regional anatomy, where we study anatomy under different regions like upper limb, lower limb, head and neck, thorax, abdomen, and pelvis perineum. And then this is gross anatomy, by looking with a naked eye, or dissecting it to the deep layers and looking and studying the anatomy with our naked eye. But when we take some help, like we take the help of microscope to look at the structures, then that comes under histology. And when we study about the embryo, then it comes under embryology, the development of embryo up to the baby or newborn baby. And then neuroanatomy, one of the most complicated part of the human body. Here we study the central nervous system, or the nervous system, like central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. That comes under neuroanatomy. So first we would be covering gross anatomy, especially systemic anatomy, and then finally we'll be going towards the regional anatomy. Okay. So after defining anatomy, we'll be going towards gross anatomy. So the gross anatomy, I already told you, as I already have mentioned before, the gross means with the help of naked eye, which is visible with the help of naked eye. We don't need an external or additional help. Whatever we can see with our naked eye comes under gross anatomy. The branch of anatomy that deals with macroscopic, it's not microscopic. Yes, microscopic comes under histology. Macroscopic structures of tissues and organs which are visible to the naked eye. That is known as, or referred as, gross anatomy. And the gross anatomy, we have already mentioned, is divided into surface anatomy, the external body. For example, as you can see here, you can see the palms, you can see the dorsal of hand, you can see the skin, you can see the chest, you can see the hair, eyes, whatever you can see from the surface, whatever you can appreciate from the surface, all the landmarks come under surface anatomy. And then when we jump into the specific organ system, then they are studied under systemic anatomy. Yes, we have integumentary system, skin system, we have skeletal system, we have lymphatic system, respiratory system, then we have muscular system, nervous system consisting of central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. If we talk about the structural division of nervous system, then we go to the digestive system, urinary system, endocrine system, cardiovascular, male and female reproductive system. These all the system, organ system, 11 organ systems come under the systemic anatomy. So we have 4 here, and male and female reproductive system are studied under reproductive system. Finally, we'll be going towards the regional anatomy, where we discuss anatomy of a specific region. We have divided the body into upper limb, where we study the hand, the forearm and the arm, and the lower limb, following by the thorax. We have abdomen, we have pelvis perineum, and then head and neck. So we have divided the body into regions for convenience. And then we study from the external surface anatomy. For example, if we take upper limb, we start from the external most, the superficial most, such as the skin of upper limb. Then we go to the deep layer, the veins. Then we have, we have subcutaneous fat. Sub means under, cutaneous means skin. Yes, so under the skin we have subcutaneous fat, then we have veins, then we have muscles, and then in between muscles we have arteries, and also we have nerves, and below that we have these muscles are surrounding the bones. So this all comes under upper limb. And when we study the anatomy, the gross anatomy of different regions, the skin, the subcutaneous fat, the subcutaneous tissues, the veins, arteries, lymphatic system, the nervous system of a specific region, of the muscles and the bones of a specific region, then it comes under regional anatomy. I hope by now you have an understanding of surface anatomy, systemic anatomy, and regional anatomy. And these all comes under gross anatomy, where we study the structure with the help of our naked eye. So, under the gross anatomy, first heading is levels of organization in human body. And as you know, our body is made up of different levels of organization, starting from the very least, the chemical or molecular level, where the atoms are joined together. They will make molecules such as a DNA. This is the chemical level or molecular level. And then these molecules will join together to make organelles. And the organelles will come together in a bag of potassium. These are known as cells. Cells are nothing but bags of potassium containing the organelles, and these organelles are made up of macromolecules, different molecules. And when these bags of potassium, these cells join together to perform some function, it becomes a tissue. So we had a chemical level of atoms and molecules joining together to form organelles, and organelles get together and party together and function together in a cell. The cell is known as cell level or cellular level. And when these cells join together to form a tissue, to perform a specific function, then it becomes tissue level. And when these different tissues work together and make a structure, then it becomes organ level, such as urinary system, stomach, we have tongue, yes? We have small intestine, large intestine, we have lungs, we have trachea, different tissues joining together from the tissue level to make an organ, and this organ perform specific function. This organ will be known as organ level. And then, not to be surprised, different organs will perform a specific function, and those organs will become a system known as organ system level. For example, if you talk about the GIT, the gastrointestinal tract, we have different organs starting from the tongue, the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, then we have the rectum. All these organs working together, making a system, and this level of organization is the organ system level. Whereas all the organ system level working together for the survival of an organism will make an organism level. So this, starting from the chemical level or molecular level up to the bags of potassium, the cells join cellular level, joining together to make the tissue level working together, many tissues working together will make an organ level or organs, different organs working together will make a system, and finally different systems will work together to make an organism or individual level. Okay. So let us have a look what they have to say. The chemical level is the simplest level of organization within the body. So the simplest level of organization in the body is the chemical level. The simplest level of organization within the body is the chemical level, which is composed of atoms and molecules, also known as molecular level. Whereas atoms are the smallest units of matter. Molecules, how the molecules are made, you already know. Two or more atoms combine to form a molecule or a compound, such as proteins, water molecule, or vitamin. And then macromolecules. What are macromolecules? So molecules are two types. We have micromolecules and we have macromolecules. So micro by the name, small molecules like water. Yes, micromolecules. We have less atoms. Water is a compound. If there are two atoms, they will make a molecule, and two or more atoms, they will make a compound. But these compounds are usually relatively simpler. These are the micromolecules. But many atoms joining together to make bigger molecules known as macromolecules. And these are the complex molecules such as DNA, such as proteins, such as glucose, such as fatty acids. These have complex structures and they are made up of multiple atoms and even multiple molecules. So they are studied as macromolecules, or they are referred as macromolecules. Now, at the cellular level, specialized structural and functional units called the organelles permit all living cells to share some common functions. As I already told you, many macromolecules will join together, they'll make an organelle. What is an organelle? Nucleus is an organelle. Inside the cell, there are some certain areas which are more developed than the rest of them to perform a specific function. For example, mitochondria, as you know, is the powerhouse of cell because it generates cell. Nucleus helps to replicate DNA and helps to make protein via transcription, and then translation is in the cytoplasm. So these macromolecules are basically making organelles. And at the cellular level, these organelles, the structure and functional units, these organelles are the structural and the functional units. So at the cellular level, what are the functional units? The organelles are the structural and functional units which work together for the survival of the cell. And these organelles are made up of macromolecules. Now, after the molecular level or the chemical level, we go towards the cell level, and I already told you large molecules, macromolecules will join together to form organelles, and organelles will work together in specific ways to form cells. And the cells are the basic unit of structure and function in organisms. So for the individual level, cell is the basic structure and function unit. Whereas, as we already studied previously, that at cellular level, at the level of cell, organelle is the basic structural and functional level. But at the level of an organism, the whole organism, cell is the basic unit of structure and function. This is the difference. The cell is the smallest structural unit that exhibits the characteristics of living things such as organisms, and it is the smallest living portion of human body. So if an MCQ come like what is the structure and function unit of the individual level or the organism level or the characteristic of living thing, then the structural and function, the basic unit of structure and function of organism level or individual level is the cell. Okay, many cells will join together to perform a similar function or a common function known, and this structure will be known as tissue. So for example, a lot of similar cells will group together and then they will make a tissue. So how do you define tissue? Groups of similar cells with a common function form tissue, and this level of organization is known as tissue level. Tissues are precise organizations of similar cells that perform specialized function. Let us say we have smooth muscle. A muscle is a tissue whereas smooth muscle is a kind of muscular tissue where the cells, all the cells are same and they have joined together to perform similar function, to perform the function, and this structure is known as tissue. And we gave an example of smooth muscle. We also have cardiac muscle. We also have skeletal muscle. So these are tissues. And you already know, I hope you already know, there are 4 types of tissues in human body. Starting from the epithelial tissue, then we have muscular tissue, then we have connective tissue, and then finally nervous tissue. Very good. After the tissue level, different tissues work together to perform specific but relatively complex functions, and these form an organ. So different tissues are working together and performing a specific and complex function, then they will be forming an organ. And many organs, such as if we talk about renal system, we have an organ, we have kidney, and then we have collecting tubule, then we have ureter, and ureter opens into urinary bladder, and then we have urethra. So all of these organs, the kidney, the ureter, the bladder, the urethra, these organs are getting together, working together, performing specific complex functions, and then they are making a system of organs. The organs are making a system known as organ system. So the organ system level consists of related organs that work together. So those organs which say, okay, let us join together to perform similar function, that will be covered under organ system. And they will try to coordinate the activities to achieve a common function. For example, one of the most important function of this renal system, where many organs are working together, one of the most common function is to produce urination. Yes, filtration system produce urination. So this organ system is working together to achieve a common goal and a common function. And as you already know, there are 11 organ systems in human body, and these organ systems are studied under systemic anatomy. The system, systemic, and it comes systemic anatomy. And then finally, all the 11 organ systems in human body, they join together to keep the organism alive, and they work together interdependently, means depending on each other, to make sure the human body or the being is able to survive the environment. So they work together for the survival of the organism, and this is organism level, where they say that all body system function interdependently in a single living human being known as the organism. Yes, I hope and I want you to remember everything in the class. I'm going very slow, so I want all of you to remember as much as you can in this class. So let's have a quick revision under the. So as you can see, we have level of organization, we have chemical level or molecular level joined together to form cellular level, which are the bags of potassium. And then the cells are joining together to perform a common function known as tissue level, and tissues will work together to make an organ which will perform a common function, and many organs joined together to make a system, also known as system level or organ system level. And many systems in human body, we have 11 systems. They will work together for the survival of this individual or organism, and this is the final organism level. And on the right side, we have different level of organization such as cell level, tissue level, organ and body system, whereas we have different cells. For example, we have ciliated columnar epithelium is one kind of a cell. These cells join together, these ciliated columnar epithelium join together they make a tissue such as Example is respiratory epithelium, and then these tissues join together to form lungs parenchyma. The lungs is an organ, and different organs in the respiratory system will make a system such as respiratory system, and all these systems made up of different cells and different tissue organizations, and different tissues making different organs will make different system, are eventually working together in coordination to each other interdependently for the survival of organism. So these are the levels of organization, and organization is important for the coordination and the survival of human body.